What would happen if there was no oxygen on Earth for just 1 second? If there was no oxygen on Earth for just 1 second, the effects would be catastrophic for most forms of life on the planet. Oxygen is essential for cellular respiration, the process by which cells convert glucose into energy. Without oxygen, the cells in our bodies would quickly begin to die, and we would suffocate. In just a few seconds, unconsciousness would set in, and within a few minutes, irreversible brain damage would occur. However, the effects of a sudden lack of oxygen would not be limited to just humans and other animals. Oxygen plays a vital role in many biological processes that occur throughout the planet's ecosystems, and its absence could have far-reaching and devastating consequences. In this article, we will explore what would happen if there was no oxygen on Earth for just 1 second, including the effects on the atmosphere, the biosphere, and the planet as a whole. Effects on the atmosphere. Oxygen makes up about 21% of the Earth's atmosphere, with nitrogen making up most of the rest. If there was suddenly no oxygen in the atmosphere for just 1 second, the effects would be felt immediately. Firstly, the lack of oxygen would cause a sudden and significant drop in air pressure. The weight of the atmosphere is what causes air pressure, and without oxygen, the mass of the atmosphere would decrease, resulting in a rapid drop in air pressure. This sudden drop in pressure would cause an explosive decompression of the atmosphere, similar to what happens when a spacecraft depressurizes. The effects of this sudden decompression would be catastrophic. Anything not securely anchored to the ground would be blown away, including trees, buildings, and even people. The force of the decompression would be enough to knock down buildings, and anyone caught in the open would be at risk of being thrown around and injured. Additionally, the lack of oxygen would cause a significant increase in the levels of other gases in the atmosphere, including nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Nitrogen makes up about 78% of the atmosphere, but it is an inert gas that does not react with other substances. Carbon dioxide, on the other hand, is a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. The sudden increase in carbon dioxide levels could have serious consequences for the planet's climate. Effects on the biosphere. The sudden absence of oxygen would have an immediate and devastating effect on the biosphere, the part of the Earth where living organisms exist. Most living organisms on Earth require oxygen to survive, and the absence of oxygen would cause widespread death and destruction. Plants, for example, release oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis, the process by which they convert sunlight into energy. Without oxygen, plants would be unable to carry out photosynthesis, and they would begin to die off within a few minutes. The sudden loss of plant life would have a ripple effect throughout the ecosystem, leading to the death of animals that rely on plants for food and shelter. Animals, including humans, would be among the first to feel the effects of the lack of oxygen. The cells in our bodies require oxygen to carry out cellular respiration, the process by which cells convert glucose into energy. Without oxygen, the cells would be unable to produce energy, and they would quickly begin to die off. The symptoms of oxygen deprivation would set in quickly. Within just a few seconds, people would start to feel dizzy and lightheaded. Within a few minutes, they would lose consciousness, and their brains would begin to suffer irreversible damage. Death would follow soon after. The effects of the lack of oxygen would be even more severe for animals that rely on aerobic respiration, the process by which cells use oxygen to produce energy. Without oxygen, these animals would be unable to produce energy, and they would quickly die off.